Alright, this is Ren and Nettle doing a video on Genghis Khan. So let's talk about, first of all, his birth. What was interesting about how he was born?
There's a blood clot in his hand.
And so what did they think that meant?
He was gonna grow up to be, like a good warrior.
Uh-huh. So can you tell me about his childhood?
He was a boy, and he had a blood clot, and then when he was 9, his dad went to when he could first walk.
Yep.
Then he learned how to ride horseback. He shot birds with a bow and arrow to practice.
Mm-hmm.
And in the winter, he played on a river.
On the frozen ice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when he was 9, his dad went to look for a wife for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he found a wife. These guys the Tartars.
Mm-hmm.
His dad, Yasuji, his name.
Mm-hmm.
Robbed them once, and they wanted revenge. So they said to come on and eat
Mm-hmm.
with us. So he did, and they put poison in his food.
Mm-hmm.
He made it to his camp before he died,
Mm-hmm.
but Temujin wasn't there,
Mm-hmm.
and they sent a messenger to go get Temujin.
Because he was with his wife, his future wife's family, right?
Uh-huh.
He was on his father's way home that happened.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
And he came to where he lived, but he was too late, and his dad already died.
Yeah. And so what was life like for his family after his dad died?
It was hard because they had to eat like squirrels and like a ton of not really big meals or anything, just like small things to eat.
Because the tribe or the clan or whatever you call it kind of fell apart without his father leading them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was challenging for his family to survive. So what was the next big event that happened? What was kind of the next thing that happened in his life? How old was he when he kind of started coming into a more powerful role?
14 or 12.
Okay.
And when he was I think 12, he shot his older brother for stealing food.
Mm-hmm. So he could kind of become the head of the household by doing that, right?
Yeah,
It's pretty. So that was kind of his first way of showing what a kind of a brutal man he was.
Uh-huh.
So what about his friendship with Jamaka?
Jamaka and him, he was actually named Temujin.
Mm-hmm.
His dad gave him that name. And Temujin and Jamaka, were blood brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Like they cut their hand and then held they both cut their hand and held them together so they like shared the same blood.
Mm-hmm.
And so they became the blood brothers.
Mm-hmm. And they were kind of inseparable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until what happened that made it questionable whether they could continue their close friendship? What was kind of the problem?
Jamaka, he wanted to be like head of the tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And so he created an army.
Mm-hmm.
And Temujin took his army, and he went to where Jamaka was,
Mm-hmm.
his blood brother,
Mm-hmm.
and he saw his Jamaka's army,
Mm-hmm.
and then they started to fight, and Temujin won, and he wanted to, after they had battles, Temujin,
Mhm.
Genghis Khan,
Mm-hmm.
he said he wanted to become friends again.
Yeah.
But
He wanted to renew their oath.
Yeah, and he said, Temujin said no.
Uh-huh.
So that his only choice was to kill him.
Yeah. So he killed his best friend.
Mhm.
And even before that fight happened, or those fights happened, there was still some tension between the two blood brothers because their tribes or clans or groups of people that their families, one was sheep, some were shepherds and some were horse, you know, Jamaka's family had sheep, right? And Temujin's family had horses.
Yeah.
And horses were thought to be a higher or more valuable thing to have than sheep. And so there was always this tension between them because of that also. Okay, so that's when Temujin or Genghis Khan kind of became powerful. And then he just continued to increase in power. And what was, throughout this process, what was important to him, to Genghis Khan, that helped him get support from his people? What was the rule of laws, or the laws that he enforced?
So you're not allowed to like. Are you talking about the laws that he made? Or?
Is it called is it a K word or a V word? Casa, kava. What is that word?
I think it's like kala or something.
Okay, I can't remember what it is right now. But anyway, it's the laws that he followed. So what were the laws?
You can't spy on people.
Mm-hmm.
And like you can't steal things from other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta. The laws were like you have to respect other people.
Mm-hmm. It's called the Yasa.
Yeah.
So yeah, he believed he wasn't supportive of alcohol. What was the other thing? He had a fund set up for orphans whose fathers had been killed in battle.
Yeah.
So he really took care of his people. He gave money and food to the
People who joined his.
he took good care of his soldiers, but he also took care of the sick and the injured. So basically the rest of his life is just what? Just battle after battle after battle until the end. How did he end up dying?
He fell off his horse.
And that was it.
And his empire grew so big that it was bigger than the Roman Empire.
Uh-huh. So he... Let's see, what was I going to say? So... Yeah. Let's then move on to Mongolian life. Nettle's going to tell us about how the daily life of the Mongols was.
The men and women wore like similar clothes. They wear a pair of trousers with a long robe.
Uh-huh.
And then the robes were made of cotton. They wore leather boots with like a little bit of a turn up at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And they wore wool socks under their boots.
Mm-hmm. Because it was really cold in the winter. They had to dress really warm. I think their boots were lined with animal fur. What animals were very important to them?
What's it?
Horses. Ruben got it.
And in the summer it was usually 64 degrees,
Uh-huh.
and sometimes over 100.
Uh-huh. Can you tell me about their houses that they lived in?
They lived in like tents.
Uh-huh. I think they call them a gur,
Yeah.
which now people call them yurts. Maybe people call them yurts then too. But anyway, they're like a yurt. What are they? How are they built? What is their frame made out of?
Wood.
It's made out of wood. It's like lattice wood. And what are they covered with?
Animal skins.
And how long did it take them to set up one of their houses? About 2 hours. It was easy to take down and set up because what kind of people were they?
Mongols.
They were nomadic people. What does nomadic mean? They moved often with their herds, right? Can you tell me anything about what they ate?
Usually they ate they just bring home animals. They just hunt animals and then eat them.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mongols thought that it was a sin to wash their clothes in water,
Mm-hmm.
to get water dirty, because they thought that water was a living spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they washed their clothes in meat broth,
Mm-hmm.
or just didn't wash them until they started ripping apart and then got new clothes.
Right. So they maybe wash their clothes once a year. Anything else important about the Mongols? I think one of the things I thought was kind of important is they were fond of folk tales and stories and music and dancing. Those kind of things were important to them. Do you know why?